We start with overnight news. A deadly hit-and-run crash in Albuquerque. It happened about 10 o'clock last night here near Indian School in Carlisle. A woman walking in the median, we are told, was hit by not just one, but two trucks. And some horrified people saw the whole thing.
We've seen her walking in the middle of the road as the white truck hit her, and then the other car hit her.
Witnesses say the woman flew about 20 feet after a white pickup truck hit her. They say that truck took off and then a car hit the woman.
I ran to the middle. There was about 3 or 4 other people that stopped also and checked and, tried to see if there was anything that we could do to help, but it was already too late. And there was no way that she was going to make it.
Albuquerque police are now asking anybody who may have seen the white pickup truck or even caught a portion of its license plate to call them at 242-COPS. That truck probably has some front end damage. They're not saying who the woman is until they get in touch with her family. The area where the crash happened is back open this morning.
Bernalillo County Sheriff deputies are investigating a suspicious death. They recovered a body just after 8 last night in southwest Albuquerque. Officers say they found a man dead in an embankment near Coors and Arenal. They're not saying how they believe he died or what his identity is, only that there was no visible sign of trauma to his body. Witnesses told police the man was a regular in the area. Here's an issue that is getting a whole lot of attention. The U.S. Border Patrol has canceled flights to bring nearly 300 Central American migrants from South Texas to California for processing, but they're not saying why. 2
of those flights carrying about 280 people were supposed to happen today, but as you mentioned, they are a no-go this morning. Tens of thousands of these immigrants have been staying in Arizona, Texas, and California. This huge number of children coming from Central and South America has renewed the Obama administration's push for immigration reform. The way the law is right now, children from anywhere other than Canada or Mexico cannot be immediately deported. They have to be taken into U.S. custody first. And the way things are going, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, estimates 90,000 immigrant children will have crossed into the U.S. illegally by the end of this year. And the national problem is affecting New Mexico, too. A large number of immigrants who came to the U.S. illegally will soon be staying in this state. Congressman Steve Pierce says that ICE plans to start housing men, women, and children at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Artesia. Congressman Pierce is calling this a crisis at our doorstep because the Border Patrol and other facilities are overwhelmed.
It appears that they have the intent to send about 700 men and women. They're really in a bind.
The center in Artesia, we are told, will only take families, but 700, it's certainly a lot of them. Congressman Pierce says he has told all the immigrants who stop there will be sent back to their home country. The center is supposed to cycle families through for about a year. ICE has not said how much it'll cost to house the families here.
An arraignment could come as early as today for a New Mexico contractor and his wife. This after authorities say an ongoing dispute between 2 flood contractors in Sierra County ends in a homicide. The Sierra County Sheriff's Department says Frankie Chavez shot Jeff Martin to death on Saturday. Deputies say it happened on a country road south of Truth or Consequences. Sheriff Joe Baca points to business as the motive.
There had been some words exchanged in commission meetings between, all of the contractors and individuals.
Sheriff Baca says the 2 contractors have had history. Sierra County just rolled out about a $5.5 million money in contracts to fix the areas damaged during last fall's monsoons. Now, officials say Chavez was one of the 5 contractors given the deal. Jeff Martin, the victim here, apparently did not even bid. This morning, Chavez and his wife are both being held on a no bond hold. She's being held as an accessory to murder and tampering with evidence.
Well, neighbors in Los Lunas are on edge this morning as police there investigate a homicide from this weekend. Just after 6 yesterday morning, someone called 911 saying an older man was lying in a pool of blood in the parking lot here of the Gerald Chavez apartment. When police got there, the man was already dead. They will not say how he died, but they are calling this a homicide, and that has left neighbors uneasy. Some say a bunch of cars have been stolen there recently, and this is just adding to their fears.
This neighborhood's just getting worse and worse, yeah. I just don't feel safe in this neighborhood anymore. It's not how it was.
Investigators say they went knocking on doors, hoping to find someone who saw something. They won't say who the man is, but that he did live at the apartment complex, and they are not saying if this was a random act of violence.
New Mexico's Civil Air Patrol is joining the search for a plane that's been missing since Friday. The small plane was last seen leaving an Arizona airport. The Air Patrol in Arizona, Colorado, and Utah are also searching for the plane. A TV station in Arizona reports that a father and a son from California were on their way to South Carolina. Aviation officials say the plane departed without a flight plan. Firefighters are gaining the upper hand on the wildfire that has scorched more than 22 square miles on the Navajo Nation. Officials say that the crews have contained about 60% of the Asahi Lake fire. The human-caused fire has been burning for more than a week in the Chusca Mountains, which is just east of the Arizona-New Mexico border. All areas to the north of the fire opened yesterday, but roads south of Highway 134 remain closed for firefighters and for the public safety.
Coming up on 507, the U.S. soccer team is still in control of its destiny after a heart-pounding match yesterday. Fans from all across the country, even the world, were on the edge of their seats as the U.S. faced Portugal during a World Cup match in Brazil. World Cup fever hit Albuquerque too as fans flocked to bars to watch this game. At one point, the U.S. soccer team was just seconds away from qualifying for the second round of competition. Then, literally, with seconds left, Portugal tied the game 2-2. Team USA now faces Germany on Thursday. If the U.S. wins, they keep playing. If they tie, there has to be a tie, I believe, in the Ghana-Portugal game as well. But here's the deal. Just win, and the U.S. continues. And get this, a little girl from Albuquerque who was lucky enough to be there in person. Little Lindsay Martinez here. Remember we told you about her? She won a contest from McDonald's. She was able to escort one of Team USA's soccer players on to the pitch. She's one of 26 kids in the country who got that privilege. This is video of her surprise party last month where she learned she won. Little Martinez took her mom, Jackie, to the game with her.